Hi, I'm Annette and welcome to our podcast. Hi guys, welcome back to Born to Reborn podcast, our Born to Reborn podcast. I hope everyone is doing really well and is happy on this special day. And today's special day is actually called World Hermit's Day. Could that be a special day or not? So anyway, I thought I would talk a bit today about being a hermit and how sometimes life can feel a little bit like you're alone and unseen. Okay, now I've been in the reborning community now for almost 25 years and probably been in the seen version of reborning for 10 because Aussie Reborn Supplies started in 2015. I know, happy 10 years to us this year. I'm so very excited about that. Oh, Mateo's here with us today too, so he's hatless today, which I don't normally have him hatless because he's got such fine hair and he's like a little baldy man, but he's with us today anyway. Sorry to interrupt. So when I say seen, it just means like I was really actively out in the community, sharing and all that. Before that, in those like 15 years before that time, I was like to myself, I would make the babies and I had young children. So if I ever did sell a baby, it was sort of within that school community, school friends, school mums, that type of thing. So I wasn't pushing, it wasn't a time of social media either. It was more so a time you sort of, found a new hobby, you sort of watched YouTube, learnt a few ideas, asked a few people, but it was more of a hush time. I've talked about that before, how people were less likely to, talk about their whole experiences back then. I don't know, it just wasn't as open as it is now. And that's one of the imperative words about what we're talking about, open as is what it is now. Now, the reborning community can be quite cliquey and quite closed off, but it can also be quite welcoming and really draw you in. But I think, you need to be really open to that experience. And some of the things I need to speak about are my experiences. So, 10 years ago when I really got into Aussie Reborn Supplies and I could see a need for what I was doing. There was some other reborning suppliers at the time. They were rather small and rather basic. I think City of Reborn Angels has been around longer than me, so I'm not sort of including her in it. They were other just like eBay sort of people, and although they were amazing, some of you might remember Vinette's bassinet. She was on eBay. There was a few other people, and although they were very welcoming, to a degree, their product line was limited, and I was trying to expand on that product line, and that was mainly because I was buying all of my supplies for making my own reborns. I was buying them in bulk, and I would have friends come around who started to reborn and say, "Oh, do you have some of that? Can I buy some of that?" And people were starting to buy off me, and I thought, well, why not turn this into something a little bit more so like a little business? But like when you start a business, some of you will know, some of you won't know. You have all these big dreams, and most of you will actually know because many of you have turned yourself into a nursery, not necessarily a supply place, that's limited, but a nursery where you make your own reborns and you sell them and you try to get many customers. And these days we try to get many customers following us on social media platforms. But yeah, when I started, I had these big dreams. I really did. And I have I have been really, how could you say, I've been blessed in this community, but other people have been more blessed. And what I mean like that is, um, I have known in my time, let's say of YouTube, I've got over 20,000 subscribers on YouTube. But for me, that's been a really, really, really slow burn. And although I was, really popular, especially in the times when Matteo and Matilda were going around the world and I was doing more tutorials and things like that, my time, I kind of got derailed because my daughter Amy had a baby and I was really relied on within my family. So all of that, which was sort of going somewhere, got put on hold, and it ground to a halt as well. And I watched people come into the YouTube community and, soar up to amazing heights of, big, big numbers, while I stayed down at the little thing. And, there's been times in my, my journey of reborning where I found that really, really disappointing and hurtful, really upset, by it, that I tried so hard and I never got to those soaring heights of where I wanted. Even with, things like Facebook and that, for me, it's been a slow burn where I have seen others, get likes and followers and boom, 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 boom. I used to have a nursery page as well, and that was a slow burn as well. But, you learn over the years that it's not something you take offense on. There's no need to take offense. It's just that, some people have got that je ne sais quoi, as they say, or something. I don't even know if I said that right, that really draw people in. And I wasn't that person. And this is my journey, and I'm happy with my journey. I'm happy with my friends. I'm happy with my followers. If I had more, I probably would be a mental mess. Do you know what I mean? We take what we're given, and that's what we seem to be able to handle in life. I think. I just think that way. I know some people get really upset by it and they think, oh, well, stuff the community. No one supports me. I work so hard. I try so hard. I don't get anywhere. But it's not about that. If you're thinking in that sort of frame of mind, I've done that. I have done that myself, not to a big degree, but, maybe a downer on yourself and think, oh, try so hard. But it's not that. You can't think like that. You've got to think that your voice has a purpose as well. And maybe it doesn't have a purpose to tens of thousands of people who need to hear it. Maybe it's just one person that needs to hear it. Maybe it's just one person that needs to see it. Maybe it's just one person who needs to own a reborn baby that you make. Do you know what I mean? Prototype. I was working, there was one year I made like 100 babies, and people around me, but there, borrow words, people around me were becoming prototype artists, and I was thinking at the time, why aren't I being seen? Well, there's a number of things. Maybe my work wasn't up to standard at that time, and it wasn't what people liked. That's okay. I liked what I was doing. Maybe I wasn't pushing it. Maybe I was hiding into a little turtle shell and saying, oh no, if they see me, then I'll have to come out of my turtle shell and I'll have to be something more than I am. Do you know what I mean? There's many, many factors. And so on today, World Hermit Day, I'm going to say it's okay if you're alone, and it's okay if you're not a big bright spark in the community. I have found, especially over the last couple of years, when we've got the Art Dolls of Australia convention, we do our picnics in my local area, and I know many people do have their own reborning meetup groups and things like that, and that's enough for me. That's enough. I have never been, it's hard to say. It's not like included, but some of the, there's some groups around, and you know, they stay in their little bubbles, and that's okay. They stay in their bubbles. If I had forced myself into those bubbles, maybe I could have been more seen. But I didn't force myself in those bubbles, and that was on me. That was because I was happy within what I was doing. I was busy and on my own journey. So you're on your own journey. And if that means that you're on your own, we don't normally have to be on our own. A way of getting out there, if you want to be on your own, that's fine. A reborn baby might be enough for you, but you have to remember that in your heart and mind that that's it. That you're the one putting yourself in that. If you want friends in the reborning community, you need to, connect to a local or non-local, could be national group, let's say on Facebook, a reborning group, and start chatting. Don't sit there and just watch what's happening on those chats. Get involved. Let your voice be heard. Let people start to friend you. Let yourself start to get friends. It's all in your hands. You can't say, okay, oh my God, Jane Doe down the road, she knows I love reborns, and I know she loves reborns, but she never includes me. She never comes and talks to me. She never reaches out to me. Is it Jane Doe's purpose or role or job to chase you up? No, it's not. Friendship is a two-way street, and sometimes you might find Jane Doe has got, let's say, some mental health issues, anxiety. Maybe she's had maybe she's grieving. She's had a loss recently. You don't know what Jane Doe is going through, okay? But you know what you're going through. So think to yourself, I'm just going to send Jane Doe a message just to let her know I'm here. Okay, you do that a couple of times. If Jane Doe doesn't reciprocate and contact you or have a little chat here and there to you, then it's not to be. It's not part of your journey. Don't be mad at Jane Doe, and please don't feel that you're not worthy. It's just that she's not part of your journey, and you need to find someone else. Maybe Mary Doe. I don't know. But yeah, I'm just trying to put it out there because I know there's a lot of people who get very lonely and they say, oh, I don't have any friends, or I don't get seen. Well, of course you don't. If you're not doing anything about it, you have to put yourself out there. You have to be a part. Okay? So it's a bit of a short one for me today. I have got so much work to do for the Art Dolls of Australia convention. I do want to put out there to you guys that come. We've got 6 weeks to this convention, and there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. So please don't be sad at me if I miss a podcast or I'm late on a podcast. I have got a lot going on. Okay? And also, if you have watched this till the end, I know some do, but some don't, I want to show you a new product that I'm releasing at the convention. Okay, Mateo. Mwah. Go and sit in your bed. There we go. And I'm excited. I'm excited by this. We've got the new water bottles. This one says Proud Reborn Mummy. And as you can see, it's got a beautiful little goose there and some babies and some bottles. It is so great. The printing is beautiful. The bottle itself is one of the, cool and hot bottles. And you just press this button here and hang on. That didn't work well. That's supposed to go up. Let's do that again. Maybe this one, or maybe it's, oh, there we go. I didn't have this clicked in the right position. You can lift this up and down so you can have a drink out of there, or you can click that down and you can push that up and drink out of there like that. So that is really, really cool. We've got that design, this one here, Proud Reborn Mummy, and we've also got this design. Oh, it's so beautiful, isn't it? And it says, life's better with a reborn baby doll. Life's better with a reborn baby doll. It's got that little dummy there. Beautiful printing. So they're two different sizes. I think this was a 500 mil and this is like a 950 mil. So they will be available at the convention in December. Very excited. There'll be some different color bottles, but I think they are limited. I think I've only got about 10 to sell. That's all right. 10 to sell. So if you're interested in one of these, you know, you might need to secure it before the day, but just let me know. And after that date, after the convention, they will start to be available on our website. But for now, they're going to be a release at the convention or for anyone who's watched to the end of this video. So thank you so much for watching. I don't want to keep raving on about, you know, being alone and what you can do and what hasn't happened to me and what has happened to other people. Because like I said, that everyone's journey is different and you really have to be, it's like kind of thinking you're beautiful, okay? You've got to think you're beautiful. Well, not even beautiful. You got to love yourself. That's it. You got to love yourself. So loving yourself is really important and being proud of what your journey is. So if you're feeling alone, if you have any questions or you think you want to just, you know, vent to me, vent. You can vent, but hopefully you recognize that in the community you are seen and that it doesn't need to be a huge following. You don't need a huge following. And maybe you might be thinking you want to do it as a job to get a following. It takes a lot of work, okay? It takes a lot of work. If you really want to get a huge following, you need to be on all social media platforms. You need to be posting on all social media platforms every day, sometimes twice a day. And you need to have good content. You have to have things that people are interested in. And, you know, if that's not interesting, unfortunately, you know, maybe that's not your journey. But our journey is really just to have peace and love and happiness in our life. Okay, that's me out for raving for today. I will see you next week with a new podcast. I want to show some people some products and I'm thinking about talking about them in my next podcast. So let's see if that happens next week. Okay, bye guys. Happy reborning.